Oh, my dear fellow, you have such a refreshing wit.
Do you think I'm an idiot?
Hi, Lucy.
I Love Lucy wasn't just a television show, it was a cultural icon, a legend that forever changed how people viewed sitcoms. Premiering in 1951, the show quickly became a phenomenon, drawing millions of Americans to their screens every week. But don't let the laughter on screen fool you. The behind-the-scenes world of I Love Lucy was filled with secrets, tension, and bizarre truths that few people know about. From the tumultuous marriage of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz to the groundbreaking innovations in sitcom filming techniques, this show didn't just entertain, it redefined the television industry. This is the story of bold victories, shocking decisions, and unexpected behind-the-scenes moments. Get ready to uncover the wildest secrets behind I Love Lucy, where mysteries are revealed and legends come to life. 1. The show began as a radio program. Before I Love Lucy became a television phenomenon, it began as a radio show called My Favorite Husband. This was where Lucille Ball first portrayed Liz Cugat, an eccentric wife who constantly drove her husband crazy with her wild antics. Sound familiar? That's because Liz Cugat was the blueprint for Lucy Ricardo, the character we all know and love. My Favorite Husband quickly gained a large audience and became one of CBS's most popular radio shows at the time. But the golden age of radio was coming to an end. With the rise of television, CBS realized they needed to update their content. They approached Ball and suggested turning My Favorite Husband into a TV sitcom. Ball agreed, but on one condition: Desi Arnaz had to play her on-screen husband. This was a bold demand, as no television show had ever featured an interracial or cross-cultural couple before. But Ball didn't care. To her, if Desi wasn't in it, there wouldn't be an I Love Lucy. Thus, from a simple radio show, I Love Lucy was born, carrying with it a wave of revolutionary change that forever altered the history of television. 2. CBS initially didn't want Desi Arnaz to play the husband.
Well, doesn't this look wonderful? Did you have any trouble?
No, not a bit.
Imagine this: CBS, one of the most powerful television networks in America, flat out rejected Desi Arnaz, not because he wasn't talented, but simply because he was Cuban. Arnaz's unfamiliar accent made them uneasy. A foreigner. On American screens, never in their eyes, American audiences would never accept Lucy Ricardo marrying someone who wasn't all-American. That is, white, without a foreign accent or foreign background. But Lucille Ball wasn't someone who backed down easily. She insisted that Desi Arnaz had to play Ricky Ricardo. To her, Desi wasn't just her real-life husband. He was the perfect co-star to create the kind of on-screen chemistry no one else could replicate. CBS thought they had won when they rejected Desi, but Ball wasn't about to give up. She proved them wrong by taking their act on the road, performing across the country to show CBS that audiences loved them, regardless of Arnaz's foreign heritage. After receiving overwhelming approval from audiences, CBS was forced to reconsider, and the rest, as they say, is history. The decision to cast Arnaz not only broke barriers, but also ushered in a new era where industry prejudices were challenged, and I Love Lucy became legendary. 3. Lucy and Desi had to tour to convince CBS. When CBS rejected Desi Arnaz, they weren't just saying no to an actor. They were rejecting the idea that a foreigner could be the centre of an American sitcom. But if CBS thought they could easily overrule Lucille Ball, they were gravely mistaken. Ball and Arnaz decided to tour the US to prove they were the perfect duo, both on stage and off. They created a comedy skit called The Professor, which they seamlessly incorporated into Desi Arnaz Orchestra's performances. Audiences not only laughed hysterically at Lucy's antics, but were also captivated by the natural chemistry between her and Arnaz. Notably, these performances weren't just entertainment, they were a campaign to challenge racial and cultural biases on American television. By the end of summer 1950, CBS had no choice but to agree to Ball's demands. 4. Ball and Arnaz's tumultuous marriage.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes, goodbye.
Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz may have been the perfect couple on screen, but their real-life marriage was far from idyllic. In 1944, Ball filed for divorce, unable to tolerate Arnaz's infidelity and alcoholism. His late nights weren't due to work, but all-night parties. However, instead of letting their marriage collapse, the two reconciled, hoping that working together on I Love Lucy would mend their relationship. In reality, this was not a long-term solution. While they continued to portray an ideal couple, on-screen tensions between them only grew. Ball admitted she had hoped the show would bring their family closer, but Arnaz remained unchanged. In the end, after over a decade together, Ball and Arnaz divorced in 1960. 5. Lucy and Desi invested their own money to retain rights. When CBS was unwilling to fund a pilot for I Love Lucy Ball, and Arnaz decided to finance it themselves, they spent $5,000, a significant sum at the time, to shoot the pilot and ensured they retained ownership of the show. This decision was not only bold, but also a turning point in television history. Thanks to this ownership, Ball and Arnaz earned money not only from each episode, but also from reruns. This made them television's first millionaires. But this story isn't just about money. It's about asserting creative control in an industry that rarely allowed actors to have a say. 6. The near-death incident during the grape-stomping scene. The grape-stomping scene in the grape-stomping episode is one of the show's funniest moments. But behind the audience's laughter was a terrifying story. In the scene, Lucy wrestles with a local woman who couldn't speak English. When Lucy accidentally slipped, the woman held her head under the grape-filled liquid. The production team, thinking it was part of the act, didn't intervene while Lucy nearly drowned. Escaping death by a hair's breadth, Lucy turned this accident into an iconic comedic moment. 7. The legendary episode. Lucy does a TV commercial.
Now you pick up the bottle.
Oh,
A little higher. That's right.
the answer to all your problems is in this little bottle.
The episode, Lucy Does a TV Commercial, isn't just one of the best episodes of I Love Lucy, it's also proof of Lucille Ball's innate comedic talent. In the episode, Lucy tries to advertise a product called Vitamita Vegamin, which contains alcohol. As Lucy drinks more and more of the tonic, she gets drunk, but continues her performance, creating an unforgettable comedic scene. The cast and crew struggled to keep from laughing during filming. This wasn't just a funny scene, it was a lesson in turning simple situations into legendary moments. 12. The danger of real lighting.
Good evening.
Audiences often saw characters smoking in I Love Lucy, but this wasn't a creative choice. It was a requirement from sponsor Philip Morris. As a major sponsor, Philip Morris not only funded the show, but also imposed conditions characters had to smoke as often as possible, and the brand had to be mentioned in dialogue. Interestingly, Lucille Ball didn't smoke Philip Morris cigarettes. Instead, she preferred Chesterfield, a different brand. To bypass this requirement, Ball instructed the crew to stuff Chesterfield cigarettes into Philip Morris packaging during filming. This was a subtle act of defiance that went unnoticed. Of course, smoking was considered stylish and classy at the time, so viewers didn't question its prevalence. Today, the idea of characters smoking under sponsorship would seem both strange and concerning. This highlights the power sponsors wielded over entertainment back then, as well as Ball's cleverness in balancing their demands with her personal preferences. 9. William Frawley wasn't the first choice for Fred. Fred Mertz, the gruff yet humorous husband of Ethel, is one of I Love Lucy's most memorable characters. But few know that William Frawley, who played Fred, wasn't the first choice for the role. Initially, Lucille Ball wanted Gail Gordon for the part. Gordon, a renowned actor who had worked with Ball on radio programs, declined the offer due to commitments to our Miss Brooks. This forced the producers to look elsewhere, and Frawley came into the picture. However, casting Frawley wasn't easy. He was notorious for his drinking and difficult personality. CBS and sponsor Philip Morris worried he might cause trouble on set. To address this, Desi Arnaz, a fellow drinker, assured CBS that Frawley could handle the role under the right conditions. A deal was struck. Frawley would be fired immediately if he missed any workdays without a valid reason. Surprisingly, despite his reputation, William Frawley never missed a single day of filming during his 9 years on the show. He turned Fred Mertz into an iconic character, proving that unconventional choices often lead to the biggest successes. 17. The rivalry was fictional. Fred and Ethel Mertz. The hilarious couple in I Love Lucy were an essential part of the show's success. But in real life, Vivian Vance, Ethel and William Frawley, Fred absolutely despised each other. Vance openly stated that no one could believe she would be married to a grumpy old man like Frawley. He was 22 years older than her, and his aged appearance made Vance feel humiliated playing his wife. Frawley, for his part, didn't hold back either. He called Vance names that couldn't be repeated, and the two frequently argued behind the scenes. Yet their conflict never showed on screen. Both were consummate professionals and understood that maintaining harmony, at least in front of the camera, was critical to the show's success. The studio even released press statements praising their friendship and calling them the perfect duo. The truth was only revealed years later after the show ended. Ironically, the tension between them may have contributed to their sharp and witty on-screen banter, making Fred and Ethel one of the most iconic TV couples in history. 11. Desi Arnaz wore platform shoes and special chairs. Desi Arnaz often claimed to be 5'11", 1.86, but in reality, he was 5'9", 1.75. This wasn't a major issue, except for the fact that his wife Lucille Ball stood at 5'7", 1.70 and often wore high heels. To maintain the image of a tall husband, Arnaz resorted to several tricks. He wore platform shoes during standing scenes with Ball and used a specially designed chair with extra padding to appear taller when sitting. On screen, audiences never noticed the height discrepancy. But this wasn't just about physical stature. It reflected Arnaz's pride and desire to project an image of strength and authority, both in his marriage and on screen. These height-enhancing tricks were a small but telling aspect of the meticulous production of I Love Lucy. Whether it was height lighting or camera angles, every detail was carefully orchestrated to create a flawless show. 2. Premiered at the same time as the Munsters. Before I Love. Lucy sitcoms were typically shot with a single camera requiring constant pauses to change angles. Desi Arnaz revolutionized this process by suggesting the use of 3 cameras simultaneously. While this idea may seem simple today, at the time it was groundbreaking. With 3 cameras, the production team could shoot wide shots, medium shots and close-ups in one take, saving time and money while preserving the natural reactions of the live audience. This not only made I Love Lucy special, but also laid the foundation for modern sitcom filming. Today, most sitcoms use this method, though few realise it originated from a 1950s show. This wasn't just a technical innovation, it was a testament to Desi Arnaz's creativity and foresight, showcasing his brilliance not just as an actor, but as a visionary producer. 13. Little Ricky and Desi Arnaz Jr. shared the same birthday. One of the most memorable moments of I Love Lucy was when Lucy Ricardo gave birth to little Ricky. But incredibly, on the same day this episode aired, January 19, 1953, Lucille Ball gave birth to her real-life son, Desi Arnaz Jr. This wasn't just an amazing coincidence, it was a masterstroke of publicity. CBS capitalized on the event by launching a massive media campaign advertising that Lucy Ricardo would give birth in a special episode. On the broadcast day, more than 44 million Americans tuned in, representing nearly 72% of TV-owning households at the time. This made the episode one of the most watched events in television history. However, behind the scenes, it was a challenging process. Ball and Arnaz had to convince CBS and sponsor Philip Morris to allow Lucy Ricardo to appear pregnant on screen, a first in television history. To avoid controversy, the word pregnant was banned, and characters used the term expecting instead. The result, Lucy's pregnancy storyline, not only broke taboos, but also became one of the show's most beloved arcs. 14. Lucille Ball was investigated by the FBI. In 1952, while I Love Lucy was at the height of its popularity, Lucille Ball was unexpectedly investigated by the FBI for alleged ties to the Communist Party. The reason? In 1936, Ball had registered as a communist voter to please her grandfather, a passionate socialist. Ball insisted that she was apolitical and had never even voted. However, during the McCarthy era, any association with the Communist Party was seen as a serious threat. The accusations jeopardized Ball's reputation. To address the situation, Desi Arnaz held a press conference and joked, "The only thing red about her is her hair, and even that's not real." This quip not only diffused the tension, but also helped protect Ball's image. The FBI eventually dropped the investigation, but J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI director, continued to monitor Ball for years. Despite the pressure, Lucille remained steadfast and continued to deliver her best work, proving that no scandal could overshadow her talent and influence. 15. Lucille Ball was the first TV actress to become a millionaire. Lucille Ball wasn't just an extraordinary comedic actress, she was also a shrewd businesswoman. By retaining ownership of I Love Lucy through Desilu Productions, she became the first female television star to earn millionaire status. At the time, it was rare for actors to have control over the financial and creative aspects of their show. But Ball and Arnaz changed the rules of the game. Each time an episode was rebroadcast, they earned significant royalties. This not only made Ball and Arnaz incredibly wealthy, but also positioned them as two of the most influential producers in Hollywood. Desilu Productions didn't stop with I Love Lucy, it went on to produce groundbreaking shows like Star Trek and The Untouchables. Ball's success shattered barriers for women in entertainment, proving that talent and determination could overcome any obstacle. Her story continues to inspire millions of women worldwide, serving as a powerful reminder that one can be both a performer and a trailblazer in their industry. 16. Bloopers were often kept in the final cut. Unlike modern shows where mistakes are usually edited out, I Love Lucy had a unique tradition of keeping small bloopers to maintain a natural feel. Since the show was filmed in front of a live audience, stopping to fix errors wasn't an option. If an actor forgot a line or misspoke, the others had to improvise to keep the scene flowing. One famous example is in the episode redecorating the Mertzes' apartment, where Desi Arnaz accidentally flubbed a line about painting and reupholstering furniture. Instead of reshooting, the cast continued, and the mistake made the audience laugh even harder. This approach not only highlighted the cast's improvisational skills, but also added a layer of authenticity to the show. These genuine moments helped I Love Lucy resonate more deeply with audiences, making them feel like they were watching a real family rather than a scripted performance. 17. William Frawley never missed a day of filming. William Frawley, who played Fred Mertz, was known for being difficult and having a drinking problem. From the beginning, CBS was concerned that he might not show up for work or might cause trouble on set. To address this, Desi Arnaz implemented a strict agreement if Frawley missed even a single day of work. Without a valid reason, he would be fired immediately. Surprisingly, despite his reputation, Frawley never missed a single day of filming during his entire 9 years on the show. While he had a bad reputation off-screen on set, he was punctual and professional. This dedication turned Fred Mertz into one of television's most memorable supporting characters. Even Vivian Vance Ethel, despite her animosity toward Frawley, admitted that he was a consummate professional. It seems that Arnaz's firm contract and no-nonsense approach played a major role in ensuring Frawley's success on the show. 18. Several actresses were considered for Ethel. Ethel Mertz, Lucy Ricardo's indispensable best friend, is one of I Love Lucy's most beloved characters. But the role wasn't originally intended for Vivian Vance. Initially, Lucille Ball wanted her close friend Barbara Pepper to play Ethel. However, Pepper's issues with alcoholism led CBS to reject her, as they didn't want two heavy drinkers on set given William Frawley's reputation. The role was then offered to Bea Benaderet, who had previously worked with Ball on radio shows. Unfortunately, Benaderet was already committed to another project and couldn't take the job. Finally, Vivian Vance, a Broadway actress, was discovered by Desi Arnaz while performing at the La Jolla Playhouse. Initially, Vance was insulted by the idea of playing the wife of someone 22 years older like Frawley. But once the show aired, Vance turned Ethel into an iconic character, perfectly balancing humour and heart in her friendship with Lucy. This final casting decision not only transformed Vance's career, but also contributed significantly to I Love Lucy's success. 19. The woman who played the wife on stage became the mother on screen. Desi Arnaz was not only a talented actor, but also a deeply patriotic individual. Throughout the production of I Love Lucy, Arnaz insisted that Ricky Ricardo be portrayed as a morally upright character. Because of this, he rejected a script where Ricky was supposed to cheat on his taxes. Arnaz felt that showing Ricky a Cuban immigrant committing an illegal act would send the wrong message about immigrants in America. At the time, Arnaz himself faced many prejudices because of his Cuban heritage, and he didn't want to give viewers any additional reason to doubt the integrity of immigrants. This decision reflected not only Arnaz's patriotism, but also his vision for the show. Ricky Ricardo wasn't merely a comedic character. He was a symbol of the American dream, representing the idea that anyone, regardless of their origins, could succeed through hard work and honesty. This demonstrated that Arnaz wasn't just an actor, but also someone committed to challenging societal stereotypes, both on and off screen. 20. The longest laugh in show history. In one of the show's most iconic episodes, Lucy Ricardo decides to perform a tango with Ricky. But there's a twist: she has hidden raw eggs in her blouse. As Lucy starts dancing, the eggs begin to break one by one, creating a hilariously chaotic scene. This moment was so funny that the live audience laughed continuously for 65 seconds, the longest recorded laugh in I Love Lucy history. What's even more astonishing is that the scene was entirely improvised and unedited. Lucille Ball fully committed to the gag, turning a simple prank into a historic moment. Even Desi Arnaz, who was known for his professionalism, struggled to keep a straight face during the scene. The extended laughter wasn't just a reflection of Ball's comedic genius, but also a testament to the power of humour in connecting with audiences. This scene remains one of the most memorable moments in television history, proving that sometimes the simplest jokes leave the biggest impressions. With each unveiled truth, we not only gain a deeper understanding of the show, but also grow to admire the talent and vision of Lucille Ball, and Desi Arnaz even more. They didn't just revolutionize the entertainment industry, they left behind a legacy that endures in the hearts of audiences. If you found this interesting, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon below so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Now, I want to hear from you. Which fact on today's list surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.